Enterprise Edition, School Management System. This is a general overview of the curriculum module. The following steps should be followed to be able to successfully create report cards for the students. Step 1. Complete the academic setups. Under the Management menu option, ensure that the academic year, academic terms, and grades have been created. Step 2. Ensure that the correct academic year is selected. Step 3. The general setups for the curriculum module need to be completed. Select the Curriculum menu option. Select the General Setup menu option. Complete the setups in the order which they are displayed in the menu. Cycles. Cycles are created per grade. Any number of cycles can be created. Any number of cycles can be created per grade. Efforts. Efforts are created per grade. Any number of efforts can be created. Efforts are used on report cards, mostly for grades 1 to 3, giving an indication of the effort of the learner for a subject. Any number of efforts can be created. The user can make use of the copy function to copy the existing efforts to another grade. The scores that are defined will be used for the promotion conditions. Comments. A shared database can be created for comments. These comments can be printed on the report cards for all grades. There are no limits on the number of comments that may be created. There are no limits on the number of comments which can be created. The alternative comment is used when the Use Alternative Language option is selected on the student profile. The #name function can be used. The student's name will automatically be inserted in a comment when this field is used. Levels. Subjects may have different levels, for example, higher grade, standard grade, etc. There are no limits on the number of levels which can be created. Levels are used when assessments are created. There are no limits on the number of levels which can be created. Symbols. Symbols are created per grade. There are no limits on the number of symbols which can be created. Symbols are used when promotional conditions are set up, as well as on report cards. There are no limits on the number of symbols which can be created. The user can make use of the copy function to copy the existing symbols to another grade. Step 4. Complete the setups for the subjects. Create the general subject groups. Typical subject groups are languages, primary subjects, secondary subjects, and non-promotional subjects. Subjects. Create the subjects. Subjects are created per subject group. Parent subjects. Parent subjects are used to create subsubjects. Subject grades. This menu option is used to link subjects to student grades. Subjects are linked to student grades. The position determines the order in which the subjects are printed on the report card. Scores. Scores can be added. These scores are used when promotional calculations are done. Should outcomes be required, outcomes can be added. Subject sets. Subject sets consist of more than one subject, which are grouped together. Subject sets are created per grade. Subject sets can then be allocated to students. This simplifies the student-subject allocation process, as subject sets are now allocated to a student. Subjects are not individually allocated to a student. A set of subjects is allocated to a student. 8 subjects have been selected to create a subject set. These subjects will be the core subjects for this grade. Educator allocation. Subjects are allocated to educators. Student allocation. Subjects are allocated to students. Subjects are allocated to educators. More than one class group can be allocated to a subject. The number of class groups which can be allocated to an educator is defined on the subject grade page. Subjects are allocated to students. The subject levels and class groups for the subjects are defined. Subjects which have been allocated to students are displayed. Step 5. The assessments need to be created. Create the assessment types. Any number of assessment types can be added. For this example, only 2 types were added, namely, CAS and exam. Create the assessments. Assessments are created per subject grade, per level, per cycle. When the page is opened and assessments have been created, the cycle total summaries will be displayed. The total summary includes the max mark, pass mark, cycle weight, year weight, and promotional weight. The details of the assessments which were created are displayed by expanding the cycle structure. As can be seen, 2 types of assessments were created, namely, CAS and exam. The CAS assessments details are displayed by expanding the CAS structure. 7 assessments were created for Cycle 1. The exam detail is displayed by expanding the exam structure. 1 exam was created. Should there be 4 cycles, which have the same assessment setups, the user only needs to create the first cycle's assessments. The remaining 3 cycles can be created by making use of the copy function. The cycles can be copied to different grades, different cycles, and different levels. Step 6. Create the student assessments. This is the page where the student's assessments are captured. As soon as the subject grade, level, and class group are selected, the cycles that were created, as well as a student list, which is associated with these selections, will be displayed. The cycle, year, and promotional marks are displayed. To capture the marks, for Cycle 1, the Cycle 1 structure needs to be expanded. When this is done, the assessments that were created are displayed. The following information is displayed: 7 CAS assessments, 1 exam, the due date for the assessment, and the max mark for the assessment. The user now enters the assessment marks. The cycle, year and promotional marks are calculated as the assessment marks are entered. Should the user have created outcomes, the outcomes are displayed by expanding the assessment structure. The results for the outcomes can be changed. Should the user have created competencies for the outcomes, the competencies are displayed by expanding the outcome structure. The results for the competencies can be changed. Step 7. Create the student comments. Student comments are added to be printed on report cards. The comments can be added per cycle, for the year, or promotion, per subject. The #name function can be used. The student's name will automatically be inserted in a comment when this field is used. General comments that were created can be added to the comments field. Predefined general comments are added by entering the code of the comment. Step 8. Set up promotional results and create promotional rules and conditions. Create the promotional results. These promotional results will be used when student results are calculated. Create the promotional rules. Promotional rules are created per grade. Promotional rules can be set up for cycles, year, or promotion. The minimum total promotional score is the score which needs to be achieved for the rule to be true. The number of subjects which will be used to calculate the promotional score is defined on the condition. The execution priority determines the order in which the rules are executed. A promotional rule must be set up for every result type which is required. Promotional conditions can be created for each promotional rule. Step 9. Calculate the student results. Student results are calculated per grade, per result type. The result type can be cycle, year, or promotion. The following marks information is displayed. Student average, the symbol for the average, the student ranking, and the grade average. The following scores are displayed. Promotion score, tertiary score, should it have been created. The following results are displayed. The calculated result and the recommended result. The user can override the calculated result by making use of the recommended result. The user needs to take note that when student results are calculated, the recommended results values are changed back to the calculated result. Result comments can be added. Step 10. Mail merge. Student, subject and marks information can be exported. This information can then be used together with Microsoft Word mail merge functionality to create customized report cards. Setup for mail merge. The user needs to create a setup template for the export file. The setup is done in two parts, namely, student detail, subjects and marks. The student detail which should be exported is selected. The subjects and marks information which should be exported is selected. Export. Once the mail merge setup template has been created, the user can create an export file. The mail merge setup template is selected. The exports are created by grade. The report type which can be selected is cycle, promotion, or year. The report can include conduct and absenteeism details. A student list is displayed for the selected grade. The students for whom the information must be exported are selected, after which the export file is created by processing the selected students. The user will have the option to save the created export file. The file needs to be saved in a CSV format. The file can now be used as the source file for the mail merge function in Microsoft Word. Step 11. Reports. There are two types of reporting, which can be used to retrieve curriculum information from the system. System reports and query lists. When the system reporting option is selected, a list of available system reports is displayed. For this example, the standard report card, which can be printed, is selected. Most of the reports has an argument screen. The argument screen is used to select different criteria to create different reports. Reports can be viewed, printed, or be exported to PDF, Excel or Word. Query lists. There are two types of query lists, namely student subjects and student marks sheets. These two standard query lists can be modified by adding and deleting of fields with the methods discussed in the general toolbar to create different reporting results, which can then be printed or exported to Excel for further statistical manipulations. Different subject lists can be created, excluding the marks and cycles, for the subjects. Different subject lists can be created, including the marks and cycles, for the subjects. This concludes the overview for the curriculum module. Should you require more detailed information with regard to steps that were mentioned, refer to the Detailed Uses Guide